कि तेरे बिना सांस भी आती रही तरररर ता 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 तररर ता 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 दाना 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 ता 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 दाना ना कि तेरे बिना ओके हम वापस आ गए हैं पाजी वापसी वापसी आ गए हैं एंड एक और गुड न्यूज़ तुम्हारा भाई प्रीफेक्ट बन गया है यस आई एम नाउ द कल्चरल सेक्रेटरी ऑफ माय स्कूल यस मतलब बेसिकली जो भी नाच गाना होगा सबकी जिम्मेदारी मेरी है काफ़ी सही पोस्ट है काफ़ी मज़ेदार पोस्ट है एंड या आई एम रियली रियली हैप्पी कि मुझे पोस्ट मिली और आज हम खेलने जा रहे हैं गेंशिन तो पहले हम थोड़ा सा गेंशिन खेलेंगे उसके बाद हम करेंगे मीम रिव्यू और आज अगर तुम सोच रहे हो मैं इतना धीरे धीरे क्यों बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि आज मैं थोड़ा थका हुआ हूँ मतलब इतना नहीं थका हुआ आज मैं छुट्टी पे था बट थका भी नहीं हुआ आज मैं थोड़ा काम यस आई एम काम टुडे क्योंकि आज हमें कामनेस से ही काम करना है क्योंकि आज हमें बनना है सुपर डुपर डिटेक्टिव यस आज हमें डिटेक्टिव बनना है और हाँ और एक तो ना मैं एक हफ्ते बाद दोबारा से गेम खेलता हूँ वैसे मैं बिल्कुल गेम्स नहीं खेलता मेरी ट्यूशन व्यूशन वगैरह होती है स्कूल होता है तो एनर्जी बचती नहीं है गेम खेलने की बगैर है ना तो इसलिए मैं सिर्फ ये 3 दिन कुछ ना कुछ खेल पाता हूँ तो यस इसलिए आज थोड़ा सा वो कहते हैं ना मेरे को याद भी आता है धीरे धीरे याद आता है मेरे को तो हाँ ये बात है तो फिर आ जाओ पाजी माय गॉड हाँ जी तो फिर शुरू करें हैं शुरू करें टाइम तो हो ही गया है शुरू करते हैं फिर लोग आते जाएंगे यस आ जाओ पाजी ट्रांजिशन ओके इंट्रो दे देते हैं पाजी है ना ऑल राइट लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन तो स्वागत तुम्हारा एक और नई और मजेदार गेंशिन की वीडियो में सो आज हम जाने वाले हैं और आज हम सर्च करने जा रहे हैं ढेर सारे क्लूज यस आज हम बहुत सारे क्लूज ढूंढने जा रहे हैं जिससे हम अपने दोस्त लिनी को बेगवाह नॉट बेगवाह सॉरी बेगुनाह साबित कर सके यस गाइस आज हम लिनी को बेगुनाह साबित करने की फुल ट्राई करेंगे बिकॉज लिने इज द बेस्ट पर्सन और फुरीना एक नंबर की बेवकूफ है बच्ची है उसके लिए सब कुछ खेल है और वो आयरकॉन बनने के लिए बिल्कुल भी डिजर्विंग नहीं है सो यस विदाउट एनी फर्दर डू चलते हम आज के इंटरोगेशन नहीं इन्वेस्टिगेशन में आ जाओ पाजी भाई साहब मैं सच बता रहा हूँ मैं मुंह तोड़ दूंगा फुरीना का किसी दिन है ना मैं कसम से मैं फुरीना का मुंह तोड़ दूंगा वो मेरे को इतनी बेकार लगती है भाई फुरीना को ना मैं ऐसा बोलना नहीं चाहिए वैसे लड़कियों के लिए बट बड़ी खराब लगती है यार मेरे को फुरीना मतलब तमीज ही नहीं है उसको ना तमीज है ना अकल है ना हया है ना शर्म है कुछ नहीं है फुरीना को लिटरली बस मेरे को तो वो आर्कॉन मेरे को तो बच्ची लगती है वो टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट अगर मैं तुम्हें बताऊँ बच्ची है वो बच्ची आर्कॉन नहीं वो बच्ची है बच्ची ठीक है बच्ची है वो आर्कॉन बनेंगी बड़ा मीम साहब भाई मैं तो मानता ही नहीं हूँ उसे आर्कॉन ये जरा थोड़ी टाइम हो रहा है तब तक थोड़ी हम चैटिंग शूटिंग कर लेते हैं आपस में है ना ऐसे ही और बताओ भाई क्या चल रहा है जब तक ये थोड़ा सा लोड हो रहा है तब तक थोड़ा हम इधर उधर देख लेते हैं क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा लोग भी जुड़ जाएं थोड़े अरे कुछ तो हुआ है मेरे फोन के साथ कुछ तो हुआ है कुछ हो गया है ये मेरा एक विजिट कम कौन सा हो गया एम आई रिमोट का कम हो गया ए, ए, हैं हेलो जो भी नया आ रहा है हेलो हाँ ये थोड़ी सी हमारी गेम थोड़ा सा लोड होने में टाइम लगा रही है तब तक हम बस थोड़ा सा बैठे हुए हैं यस हम थोड़ा सा बैठे हुए हैं क्या पहले 24 कैरेक्टर्स यूज होते हैं? ड्रैगन बॉल लेजेंड्स क्या कर रही है भाई? आ जाओ, एक काम करते हैं, जब तक ये हो रही है ना हम थोड़ा सा कुछ और देख लेते हैं तब तक, है ना? आ जाओ यार, लेकिन फिर मेरे को गेंशिन सेटअप करनी पड़ेगी दोबारा से। और देखते हैं कुछ तो देखते ही है। एक तो ना ये यूट्यूब का मेरे को ये वाला बिल्कुल फालतू लग रहा है। ये अपना तुम वो ऑन करो, वॉच हिस्ट्री। मैं नहीं कर रहा अपनी वॉच हिस्ट्री ऑन। मुझे नहीं चाहिए कोई भी मेरा डेटा ऐसे सेव हो भाई। थोड़ा हटके रहना पड़ता है यार ये इन यूट्यूब की ना नज़रों से। थोड़ा हटके रहो तभी सही रहता है इतना, है ना? मतलब जितना एआई को और टेक्नोलॉजी को तुम्हारे बारे में कम पता हो ना उतना ही बेटर है। ठीक है, पहले इसलिए मैं वॉच हिस्ट्री ऑफ करके रखता था ताकि मुझे नई नई चीजें पता चलती रहें। सॉरी, मैं दोस्त से मैसेज कर रहा था ना तो उसको, मतलब एक ये लोग ना कितने आलसी होते हैं। हाउ कैन समवन बी सो आलसी? फिफ्टी परसेंट ही हुआ यार, नेट स्लो चल रहा है क्या? तेरे बिना सांस भी आती नहीं, आती नहीं। चल जा, सारा टाइम ऐसे ही निकाल भाई। आज स्ट्रीम में लगता है ये यस मेरे को इसको लप्पू सा गेंशिन है भाई। सच में लप्पू सा गेंशिन है भाई। मतलब क्या बताऊं मैं तुम्हें। मतलब इतना स्लो कैसे चल सकता है? अभी तक ये 69 पे ही अटका है। एंड बाय द वे गाइस, अगर तुम्हें चाहिए कि मैं कोई नई गेम्स खेलूं तो मेरे को स्टीम पे गिफ्ट कर दो, मैं अपनी स्टीम आईडी भी डाल दूंगा। कमेंट करो, उसमें मैं तुम्हें अपनी स्टीम का मतलब आईडी बताऊंगा, नॉट पासवर्ड। हाँ यार, एक तो ना इन्होंने ड्रैगन बॉल लेजेंड्स में बैटल गॉन्टलेट में 400 क्रिस्टल्स कर दिए सिर्फ। इनको क्या मतलब अपनी गेम खुद बंद करवानी है क्या? मेरे को समझ नहीं आता है। और भाई अल्ट्रा सुपर सेन ब्लू वेजिटो दोबारा लेके आओ भाई ऐसे ना। मेरे को मिला ही नहीं था भाई। मैंने पता 6000, मैं तुम्हें लिटरली बता रहा हूँ, मैंने 6000 क्रिस्टल लगाए थे, मेरे को तब भी नहीं मिला अल्ट्रा वेजिटो ब्लू। मतलब जो मेरी किस्मत है ना इतनी ख़राब है ना कभी किसी किसी मैटर्स में, तो मैं बता रहा हूँ। और एक तो ना ये मेरे को टेस्टों का समझ नहीं आता। मैं सही आंसर लिख के आता हूँ अपनी तरफ से, फिर भी गलत कैसे हो जाता है? दैट इज़ द बिगेस्ट मिस्ट्री दैट आई हैव येट टू फाइंड आउट इन माई इंटायर लाइफ। कि भैया मैं तो सही लिख के आता हूँ, गलत कैसे हो जाता है? मैंने तो सही लिखा था। कितना टाइम, 9 मिनट हो गए मुझे स्ट्रीम चालू करे हुए और अभी तक ये लप्पू सी गेंशिन लोड नहीं होके दे रही। गेंशिन गंशिन 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 बिचुआ बचुआ। स्ट्रीम हेल्थ तुम्हारी अच्छी चल रही है? ये स्ट्रीम इज एक्सीलेंट, थैंक यू। मैं कितनी क्वालिटी पे स्ट्रीम देख सकता हूँ अपनी? ओह इतनी अच्छी क्वालिटी पे, नाइस। तो यस गाइस 1080 पे तो मैं खुद वीडियोस वैसे 720 पे देखता हूँ। बट कोई ना, चलो ओके हो गई। हाँ फाइनली फाइनली ब्रो। God damn it. Finally, Aju. Traveler Cash Buxy. अभी भी नहीं लोड होके दे रही है। हो जा बहन, लोड हो जा। मैं तेरे पाँव पड़ता हूँ, लोड हो जा। हो जा मेरी जान, लोड हो जा। हो गई शुरू गेम। नाइस नाइस। आ जाओ भैया। कोई तो नया वो आ गया है इवेंट। हाँ, ये कोई तो नया इवेंट है। ये क्या है? मेगा मेका मेली अवेलेबल। क्या है? रोबोट की लड़ाई? ऐसा सब भी होता है फॉन्टेन में? तो ऑल राइट गाइस, डिटेक्टिव ट्रैवलर केश बख्शी आ चुके हैं इन्वेस्टिगेशन पे। और आज तो भाई साहब सिस्टम पाड़ देंगे। सारे क्लूज ढूंढ लेंगे भाई साहब। सारे क्लूज ढूंढ लेंगे, सारे के सारे। तो चलो आ जाओ, पहले इस मियाऊ मियाऊ से बात करते हैं।
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the opera house at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
ना हमें नहीं जाना।
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're in this.
क्या हमने इसको नोट कर लिया? अच्छा ओके, ये क्लू है।
Getting the case.
Yes.
Were you always guarding this entrance?
Were you?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So the missing girl couldn't have left from here, at least not from that point on.
What about during the
show? There was much opportunity then either.
क्यों?
How can you be so sure?
I love Paimon के चश्मे.
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still,
कोई ना रिकॉर्डिंग मेरी स्ट्रीम देख लियो, उसको पूरी परफॉर्मेंस है।
No matter how loud the applause was, if someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
Oh, so she's इसकी स्पीशीज का नाम है Melusines.
The girl couldn't have left through here.
Okay.
Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
Okay. अच्छा, तो क्या ये दो क्लूज और हो गए। ओके, सो ये मेन क्लूज है बेसिकली जिस पे ये आ रहा है। अच्छा, ये मैं ऊपर से जाके, क्योंकि मेरे को लगता है अगर हम टॉप व्यू लेंगे तो और अच्छा रहेगा। तो गाइस हम ऊपर से जाके भी देखेंगे, क्योंकि हो सकता है, क्योंकि वो देखो शैंडलियर ऊपर था, ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ऊपर पे भी कुछ तो होना चाहिए। खुल जा सिम। आई लव जो गेट अपने आप खुल जाते हैं। अच्छा, यहाँ पे देखते हैं कुछ है। कम ऑन मचा, अरे कुछ तो होना चाहिए भाई यहाँ पे। वहीं पे ही है क्या बस? भाई साहब हो साल और ना, बस एक दिन मेरे हल्के से मेरे हत्थे चढ़ जाए बस किसी दिन ना। ये लड़की बस किसी दिन एक बारी, भगवान एक बारी बस मेरे हत्थे चढ़वा दे इस लड़की को, मैं ना सिस्टम पाड़ दूंगा। एग्जामिन वाइट लाइन, यस। हाय बेचारा, दिल बेचारा। ओके, हो सकता है इसे कुछ पता हो।
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
अच्छा।
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
No.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
क्यों नहीं करें भाई, भाइयों
Linny
मेरा
used the machine to pick a
सिस्टम
random
पाड़
member
दूंगा
of
मैं
the
उसके लिए।
audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem.
Clue, note करो। Yup, entrance to the opera house were sealed. Yes.
And with the machine...
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time.
But the
I'm sure
person
you
on it
already
is
know
random.
that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
No, not
That much
possible,
checks
dude.
out. Lenny reserved our seats for us too.
हाँ तो
But
फिर
you
लिनी
see
अपने
why I
दोस्तों को
was
यूज
saying it'd
करता
be
ना
tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's bad for Lenny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
कुछ तो ना गड़बड़ है something is missing मैं नहीं मान सकता कि ये लिनी ने किया है like not even in my कहते हैं ना worst of my brains can I तू यहाँ चाय अच्छा 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 तू सलाम कर रहा है ओ अरे साहब लोग हैं यार हम
What are you investigating?
Yeah, what are you
This
investigating?
location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe members are currently considered prime suspects.
हाँ
The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats
Achha.
were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
अच्छा could you tell us who she
Sure,
is?
it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from
Halsey.
Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself.
Okay, so she is famous.
Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all
तो वो
claim not to
stress
know her.
bust
We
करने
have
के लिए
looked
आई
into her
थी।
social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances
Okay,
or conflicts of
okay.
interest with the suspects.
दाढ़ी थोड़ी
Simply
बड़ी
put,
है मेरी,
she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all,
इतनी भी नहीं बड़ी
which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the
सही कह रहे हो
victims of
अंकल
previous
सही कह रहे हो
cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
तो सारी एक ही उम्र मतलब
Okay,
एक ही
then.
रेंज की लड़कियां थी यंग ही थी सारी
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance
Achha.
that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल यप शी isn't known to yes तो इसका किसी के साथ झगड़ा नहीं था और ये बस टाइम पास करने के लिए आई थी लेकिन खुद ही ये टाइम पास हो गई है कुछ तो गड़बड़ है
We
दया
checked everything of note here at the
Yep.
performance venue. Paimon wonders how Lenny's discussion with the guards is going.
अगर
Let's
किसी
see,
ने
shall we?
उसको परेशान किया
Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
no you are not Paimon this is not Linne's fault
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good.
कोई ना
Thanks
कोई
for
ना
being
जितने
so
नोट्स बना ले
agreeable.
बना ले
I'd pull a rose out of my
Mera-
hat as a gift for you if I could.
मेरा भाई
You may
is
spare the
innocent
pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
who's this
I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
Spina di Rasula Rosula नहीं it's Rosula तो it's Spina di Rosula guardian angel अच्छा नाविया yes नाविया पे रहते हैं हम हमारी
You got a
औकात के
little
बाहर है
carried
वो
away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole
yep ये
situation.
हमारी असिस्टेंट है
And these
yes
are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
she is Dea but of Fontaine
Fine by me.
हाँ अभी इससे बेकार हो ही क्या
New
सकता है
helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
true
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
ओह सो लेने अपनी मैजिक ट्रिक रिवील करने जा रहा है ये अभी मजा आएगा ना बिड़ू
Below stage?
Yes, a world
Yes.
of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here?
Hi to everyone.
I'm not trying to be dramatic.
Oh, double
Remembering
doors.
the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Yep, true.
Huh.
Hi,
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
हाँ ना, हाँ.
Where did all that go?
Ah, good
कुछ तो
eye.
गड़बड़ है पाजी.
That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
Okay, the back of the door isn't the same. Yes.
The back?
मैंने कहा दो doors हैं.
You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Yes, I noticed. Paimon, you're dumb.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those
Yup,
patterns
see?
are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
There was another box inside this box.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box.
Okay, so जो भी
I
गड़बड़
knew
हुई है
you'd figure out
passageway
most
में
of
हुई
it as
है.
soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel.
अच्छा,
See this
basic है
flatbed
काफी.
trolley? The
अच्छा.
box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can
Okay.
raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
Ah, nice,
I see.
nice, nice.
So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
Oh, smart.
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience
Acha.
member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
हाँ, ये तो climb करके
You
चला
were
जाता
talking
होगा
that
ना.
whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My
अच्छा.
assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about
Acha.
Lynette? Where was she?
Yeah,
I
where was
was in the
she?
mezzanine space in the back of the box.
हैं?
Oh, interesting.
मैं
That's how
समझा
we were
नहीं.
able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
हाँ?
I mean, we are twins. All
Oh,
it takes is a
makeup.
change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my
Nice,
favorite part of
nice.
this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
Ooh,
that's how it
nice,
all
nice,
worked.
nice, nice, nice.
Wow, every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last.
Ah, I can tell. Yup,
Lynette
yup,
would
बहुत
briefly
मेहनत
walk
लगी है
out of the
इसमें.
box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending.
Ah,
And
to
then
give the
I
effect.
walk out of the
Nice,
other box in the
nice,
audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But
Have
as
been.
you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member.
Yeah,
She,
वो
on
क्या
the
था
other
भाई?
hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know
कुछ
how
तो
that
गड़बड़ है
happened.
दया.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick.
And it
I
already
probably
was.
never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime.
बट देखो मैंने अपने दिमाग में तो सोच लिया था कि नीचे कोई ऐसा सुरंग टाइप होगी. टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट मैंने सोच रखा था.
Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
या
This is the
sure.
scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
क्यों नहीं?
I'll escort them back
क्यों
up.
नहीं? कौन है तू?
Yes, of
कौन
course.
है
No
तू?
need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
अरे दिक्कत मत रख यार, हम हैं ना. अरे पता है मुझे. पता है, अभी सुना है मैंने. बाद में देखूंगा मैं नोट्स. आ जाओ पाजी, मेरे को पता है कहाँ हुआ है क्राइम. यहाँ पे हुआ है एग्जामिन ट्रॉल. ओह एक सेकेंड. ये रही ना भाई साहब असली चीज.
What is this place?
एट अप बाज की नजर है मेरी. ठीक है, डिटेक्टिव एथरकेश बख्शी.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Yeah, easily.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Yep.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
अरे खींच के ले आएंगे ना यार.
No other ways in or out of here.
अरे हो सकता है ना वो ऑलरेडी यहीं पे ही हो.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Yep. एक बंदे के लिए तो काफी है ये. हो सकता है वो किसी ऐसे डिब्बे में हो. ओके यहाँ पे ये कि लैडर भी है. कैन आई क्लाइंब दिस लैडर? कैन आई क्लाइंब दिस लैडर? ये देखो ये डब्बा, इसमें हो सकता है बंदा छुपा हुआ हो. अच्छा ये तो ऑलरेडी भरा हुआ है, लेकिन हो सकता है बाद में भर दिया हो. यू नेवर नो. मेरे को तो हर ट्रॉली में कुछ नहीं हुआ होगा. हाँ ट्रॉली सीम्स जस्ट अबाउट एज नेचुरल एज इट कुड बी. ये क्या है? यहाँ पे रस्सियां हैं काफी वैसे अगर देखी जाए तो. हाँ ये क्या है? एग्जामिन ट्रैक्स. ट्रैक्स में भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. दे ऑल लुक प्रिटी नॉर्मल है ना. ये टूटा हुआ है लेकिन यहाँ पे.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
Yep.
Clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
एक सेकंड, पाइमॉन के ग्लासेस को ये क्या हुआ?
Ugh, this is so confusing.
The glasses
Paimon
changed.
doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
एक सेकंड, यंग लेडी के क्लोथ्स यहाँ है. गलत बात. ओह व्हाट इज दिस? व्हाट इज दिस? अच्छा ओके. ओ ये हुक है यहाँ पे ना. ओ ये सीढ़ियाँ क्यों है यहाँ पे? अरे अच्छा इसमें मैं चढ़ सकता हूँ. नाइस. आई एम द किंग ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. आ जाओ एक और बार. ये आ जाओ, इसको भी इन्वेस्टिगेट कर ले. यस.
What looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
यप, लेने ने इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं बोला
था. It was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
देखो पाइमॉन के ग्लासेस फिर से चेंज हो गए. Why? How are पाइमॉन के ग्लासेस चेंज? वेट रुक जाओ, पाइमॉन वापस आ. ये देखो उस सीन में पाइमॉन के ग्लासेस अलग थे, इसमें अलग हैं. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है रे दया, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है रे. ओके ये वास भी टूटा हुआ है.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
मतलब यहाँ पे शायद से छीना झपटी हुई थी.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
अरे वास टूटा हुआ है यार.
It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear.
Okay, makes sense.
Here's a broken
But हम ट्रिक डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे.
Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
Not possible. ट्रॉली इतनी वाइड नहीं है.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish.
नाविया यार,
at this distance.
पहली औरत है जिसमें मेरे को अकल दिखी है थोड़ी सी.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
आ जाओ जी. यप, ब्रोकन वास. इसका मतलब है यहाँ पे छीना झपटी हुई है.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
यप.
Yes, but
एक बार ये लैडर भी एग्जामिन कर लेते हैं जाते ही जाते. रिटर्न टू सरफेस एरिया. देखो मैजिक परफॉर्म हुआ है. दिक्कत बीच में कहीं पे आई है क्योंकि लेने तो उस तरफ गया है. लेने उस तरफ गया और लेने भी यहाँ से निकली है, तो दिक्कत बीच में कहीं आई है.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So,
Yep.
what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the opera house's basement.
और
The
वहाँ पे
guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
But यही तो
In other
बात है
words,
ना
the
कि ये सच नहीं
charges
है.
are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
But that is just it, bro. क्योंकि लिनेट नहीं है, उन्होंने ये नहीं किया. I know it. कुछ तो गड़बड़ थी नहीं दया, कुछ तो गड़बड़ थी नहीं.
Charges and then trial. So
हाँ.
if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
Obviously,
That's right.
Paimon.
This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
हाँ ये
That's right.
oratrice क्या है?
This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements
अच्छा.
from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's
ये
emotions will
oratrice ना
all
मुझे
be
वो
projected on the
Akasha terminal
oratrice.
वाली feeling दे रहा है बहुत. This oratrice gives me a lot of Akasha terminal
Put it simply,
feels.
it's as if the oratrice has its own will and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both
Fascinating.
sides have finished speaking,
But still ये
the Chief
oratrice को
Justice
तबाह
will make
करना
his
पड़ेगा
final
bro.
decision. This too will be used by the oratrice as a reference. Then,
अच्छा.
finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh?
But
So
it's
that
still a
machine is the one
machine.
that actually decides? Paimon thought Novelette called the shots.
Yeah.
In practice,
Navlet
there is
नहीं
very
करता क्या?
little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice.
Oh, लेकिन इसमें नहीं आएंगे. इसमें नहीं आएंगे.
Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
अच्छा.
Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
Ooh,
They're
okay.
concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case.
ना ना.
Even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
अरे
I'm
कुछ ना
ready to
करेंगे
break
हम
out at
ऐसे.
any time.
तू चुप रह भाई. ये अलग आइटम है.
For that, Paimon thinks they have a point. That
भाई.
said, are they providing food?
ये बंदा दिल्ली से कंफर्म दिल्ली वाला है ये. हम इतना सब कुछ डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि क्यों बाहर नहीं हमें नहीं जाना चाहिए या क्यों नहीं जाने दे रहे. इस बंदे को कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ता. ही इज जस्ट सिंपली कि मैं तो निकल जाऊंगा, बस बोल दो मुझे. कंफर्म दिल्ली वाला है ये.
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's the
In
time
that
not
case,
to be picky.
let's
Yep.
just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts
कोई ना
too.
कोई ना कोई ना
I
यार,
mean, what
ये
better way
सॉल्व
to
करके
properly
चलेंगे.
think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Okay, whatever.
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Shut up.
Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
अभी बंद कर देता मैं Genshin. अभी बंद कर देता हूँ मैं.
Understood, mademoiselle. Everyone, please
अरे
come with me.
ये अल्फ्रेड है ना, सस्ता नहीं. चलो थोड़ा. अल्फ्रेड की सेकंड कॉपी क्या देते हैं? सेकंड में चलो फर्स्ट कॉपी आ. यस, सरोजनी नगर में मिलता
Carrying
है.
a portable stove with you?
मुझे भी चाहिए.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Yeah, I love this guy, Silver, bro. Silver is
Good work, you
Silver.
two. Then I'll get to it.
मेरे Fontaine के favorite characters are Novelette and then Silver. मतलब एक तो Novelette इतना बढ़िया है ना, क्योंकि उसे पता है कि ये फुरीना बेवकूफ की बच्ची है, और ये सिल्वर आज इसने भी मेरा दिल जीत लिया. भाई साहब, बंदे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्या हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, कैसे केस अफेक्ट कर. नहीं, बाहर निकलना है ना, बताओ मुझे. नाइस. यप. क्या? ओ मैक्रोन्स, क्या हमें रेसिपी मिलेगी?
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling.
इतनी सी है Paimon,
These
कितना
two
खा
guys
लेती है
carrying
ये?
all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Yep.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
अरे बहुत अमीर है वो.
Well, I don't think it's carved
हजारों
in
खरीद
stone
सकती
anywhere
है.
that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks.
अरे
Don't underestimate beating
बढ़िया
egg whites,
लड़की है
by
ये.
the way.
ठीक है.
It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your
अरे
macarons will
पाइमॉन
crack.
कहाँ समझेगी ये?
Anyway, give these
बच्ची
a
है अभी
try.
वो.
Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Yes.
Only 3?
तू एक खा ले.
Well,
तेरे मुंह से बड़ा है
eating
एक
too many
पाइमॉन.
sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea
मेरे
is
को आज
ready
तक
to be
कभी नहीं हुआ
served
sugar
as
rush.
well.
Like
This
I've had
is
spice
Demoiselle's
rushes if
favorite,
there is such a
strong
thing like.
black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the
हाँ.
spirit.
मतलब ना ऐसा कुछ ज्यादा मैं तीखा खा लेता हूँ तो मेरे एकदम ऐसे सेंसेस एकदम खुल जाते हैं थोड़े से, तो मेरे साथ वो हुआ है. बट हाँ ऐसा शुगर रश तो आई डोंट थिंक आई हैव एवर हैड वन. या आई हैवंट एवर हैड अ शुगर रश. यप. व्हाई डोंट यू टेक अ ब्रेक एज वेल?
I'm merely doing as I should.
अरे अल्फ्रेड चचा बैठ जाओ यार. थक गए हो गए, उम्र हो गई है.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber.
Yep.
However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines.
Yeah.
Magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Yes.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
Yes, so apart from the
The
twins,
flower
कौन
vase
कर
and the
सकता
thud we
है?
heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the
Yep.
shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if
but-
she was still wearing the same clothes.
एक और चीज लेने का जो कहते हैं ना ट्रिक ऐसी थी कि उसे उस थर्ड की जरूरत नहीं थी, सो वो थर्ड डेफिनेटली वाज अनप्लान्ड.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
Yeah.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Cowl नहीं हो सकता,
Could
dude.
Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
Could it be Cowl?
From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty after all.
Oh, so she will get a
And
bonus
I
for
see
making
you've
these.
already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Yeah, Paimon, we get it.
Please
We get
don't
it.
worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing,
अरे
but
ये रहे
Paimon
दो.
knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
नहीं. Oh, एक second. Is the criminal invisible?
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons,
ये तो रहे.
may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Maloose, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
एक second.
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
ये बंदा बेस्ट है भाई.
Well, this
इसको किसी चीज से फर्क नहीं पड़ता, इसको बस अपने काम से, ऐसा ही होना चाहिए हर किसी को। I love Silver, dude. Silver so. Can Silver be a playable character? Like, make him like a 2-star character जिसके पास कोई शक्तियाँ कुछ नहीं है, but he's just him. He's just there. ऐसे मतलब dialogues के लिए। क्या मैं पाइमॉन की जगह सिल्वर को एक्सचेंज? It would be so great to have someone like him, dude. सिल्वर ब्रो, एक ही दिल है, कितनी बार जीतेगा ब्रो?
I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over
पाइमॉन के मैक्रोन्स गायब होने का कुछ ना कुछ तो रिलेशन है।
It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Yep.
All right, thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go.
Yep.
I'll be back if I find anything new.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be a long and difficult case.
हम बाहर नहीं जा सकते ना यहाँ से।
There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
रुक जाओ भाई, जरा हम इवेंट देख लेते हैं क्या आया है नया। अच्छा, मेगा मेगा मेगा, ओह इसमें बेनेट फ्री मिल रहा है। व्हाट व्हाट बेनेट? ओ भाई ये तो करना पड़ेगा, ये वाला तो कारण लगेगा पाजी। पाजी इसमें बेनेट फ्री मिल रहा है। वैसे मेरे बेनेट पे कितने स्टार्स हैं? रुक जाओ, इज माय बेनेट C5? लाइक अगर C5 है तो फिर मैं नहीं करना चाहूंगा ये इवेंट, बिकॉज C6 बेनेट इज द वर्स्ट कैरेक्टर। कहाँ है मेरा बेनेट? वेयर इज माई बेनेट? कितनी कॉन्स्टेलेशन है? अच्छा C2, ओह माय बैड माय बैड। तो मेरा बेनेट C2 है। ओके, तो ट्रायल के लिए वेट करना है हमें, ऊपर जाके करते हैं। भाई साहब मतलब यार तुम खुद सोचो यार, मतलब बेचारा इतनी मेहनत से लिने ने इतना सारा, कहते हैं ना पैसा वैसा, भाई बहुत पैसा लगता है इन सब चीजों में, तुम्हें पता नहीं है। उससे पूरा ना ये बुक करना पड़ा होगा हॉल, इतना बड़ा हॉल, इतना सारा खर्चा, इतना सारा पैसा यार। आई जस्ट होप कि ये फोसलोर की बच्ची ना ज्यादा परेशान ना करे मेरे भाई को। आ जाओ फिर यहाँ थोड़ी देर सो जाते हैं, है ना? मेरा भाई यार इनोसेंट है यार बंदा अपना। कब तक वेट करना है? 8 बजे तक। चलो गाइस थोड़ा सा नीनी कर लेते हैं। एग्जैक्टली हम यहीं सो जाते हैं, एग्जैक्टली 8 बजे उठेंगे। यस आजो पाजी आजो। हेलो हेलो हेलो, जो भी स्ट्रीम पे नया आया है, हेलो टू एवरीवन। यस चैट करके मुझे बता दीजिए कि आप यहाँ पे हैं, अपनी प्रेजेंस को आप अनाउंस कर दीजिए। हाँ ओके जी, गुड मॉर्निंग होगी पाजी। 8 बज गए पाजी, 8 बज गए। आ जाओ पाजी, ये व्यू पॉइंट भी ले लेते हैं। ओके नाइस पाजी नाइस। आ जाओ पाजी, थंबनेल भी निकाल लेते हैं। इसी बात पे थंबनेल भी निकाल लेते हैं। 1 सेकेंड, सीन वीडियो कैप्चर, यस आ जाओ पाजी, थंबनेल थंबनेल टाइम
I got
पाजी।
a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
अच्छा वहां पे जाके क्वेश्चन शुरू होगा ना, तो हम यहाँ नीचे से भी निकाल सकते। ओह फॉर डैमेज नहीं लिया, नाइस। आ जाओ पाजी, थंबनेल, ये थंबनेल लेंगे पाजी। सानू थंबनेल लेना सीगा। रुक जाओ, कैरेक्टर बंद कर दूं मैं। कैरेक्टर हाइड कैरेक्टर, यस। आज का थंबनेल तुम्हें कैसा लगा ये बताओ भाई, पहले तो तुम फर्स्ट तो यू टेल मी कि आज का थंबनेल कैसा था। ओके नाइस। ओ वो पीछे ऑरेटर्स है ब्रो, मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ ये आकाशा टर्मिनल वाली बात है दोबारा से, बस थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है, बाकी तो ये आकाशा टर्मिनल ही है। मैं तुम्हें सच मैं क्या बता रहा हूँ तुम्हें, ये आकाशा टर्मिनल है। इट्स जस्ट नाम चेंज हो गया इसका और 30 में, बट ये है आकाशा टर्मिनल ही। हाँ जी ओके, फुल एनर्जी वापस। यस हमने जितनी भी एनर्जी अब तक बचाई थी, अब हम सब। अरे स्ट्रीम क्यों खुल गया भाई? ए स्ट्रीम बंद हो। ए पैसा नहीं है मेरे पास। मेरे पास कोई पैसा नहीं जो मैं तेरी चीजें खरीद सकूं। आ जाओ पाजी, तो फिर शुरू करते हैं। शुरू किता सी पाजी, सानू शुरू किता सी। हेलो चक्को, अरे ओए नेट, ए नेट, नेट नेट, हाँ हाँ, ये क्या बात होती है? व्हाट इज दिस? अरे यार तुमने मेरी वॉचिंग गिरा दी यार। नेट ना मैं मेरे साथ ही क्यों ऐसा होता है? आ जाओ पाजी, शुरू करते हैं। फिर शुरू कर दी सिगा। आ जाओ पाजी। Yep, let's take it step by step.
Impossible things don't just
Focus
happen.
on one thing at a time.
We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Yes, we
just
will.
Relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands.
हाँ,
Besides, I doubt
सिल्वर है ना
Farina
भाई।
understands any more about what happens than
जब
we
तक
do.
सिल्वर मेरी साइड है, मेरे को किस चीज का डर नहीं है।
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best
Yep.
of luck to you.
आ जाओ पाजी। हाँ ओके, इंटेरोगेशन शुरू हो गया है पाजी। डोंट वरी ब्रदर,
Finally,
आई
you're
एम देयर
back.
फॉर यू।
Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No, no. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell
चुप
me
हो
that
जा।
your investigation came up
चुप हो जा।
empty-handed.
मैं इस लड़की को मैं पीट दूंगा गाइस। इसको मेरी नजरों के सामने से हटा लो। ये लड़की ना, इसको देख के मेरे को गुस्सा आने लग गया आजकल। मैं एक हफ्ते से मैं इतना चिल था ना, इसको देख के ना मैं लिटरली तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ, मेरे शरीर का ना वो, मैं ना एलिवेट हो रहा हूँ। मेरा गुस्सा, माई बॉडी इज गेटिंग रेडी टू जस्ट पंच समथिंग लाइक मेरी, आई कैन फील द स्ट्रेंथ राइजिंग अप इन माई बॉडी। ये लड़की ना ब्रो, ये मेरे को इतना गुस्सा दिला रही है ना, इसको मुंह तोड़ दूंगा मैं।
That was to
चुप
be
हो जा।
expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
तू है गिल्टी।
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede
तू
so
है
easily.
गिल्टी। मेरा भाई बेकसूर है। मैं इसके मत्थे मर दूंगा मैं। Just you
Since
wait.
both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Yes.
Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the
नवलेट भाई,
prosecution. Lady,
मैं तेरे पे भरोसा रख रहा हूँ, ठीक है?
do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
तू भाई है मेरा, ठीक है? अगर लिने को सजा हुई तेरे रहते रहते ब्रो, मैं सच बता रहा हूँ, गलत होगा ये, ठीक है ब्रो? तू जानता है, ठीक है? तुझे खुद पता है कि लिने ऐसा नहीं कर सकता। ये बात मुझे भी पता है। और ये बच्ची फुरीना, ये इसको बस एक्टिंग करनी है ना? तो इसका प्लीज ध्यान से, ठीक है भाई? तेरे हाथ में है ये। आज इंसाफ जो है ना, कानून, आज ब्रो, आज तुझे इंसाफ करना है।
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
On what basis?
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
There is no proof that he was
That is
abducting
simply
someone.
your hypothesis based on
Yes.
the presumption that I'm guilty.
Yes.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
तू लड़ मुझसे. तू आजा. यहीं इधर ही फैसला कर लेते हैं हम. आजा फोसलोर. मैं विजन भी स्विच नहीं करूंगा. मैं सिर्फ ट्रैवलर से पीटूंगा तुझे. आजा अभी.
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
मेरे ट्रैवलर पे कोई वो भी नहीं है. ठीक है? कुछ नहीं है मेरे ट्रैवलर पे. मेरा ट्रैवलर एकदम कहते हैं ना, मेरा ट्रैवलर भाई नोब्लेस ओब्लीज चला रहा है. ठीक है? क्योंकि उसके पास एचपी कम है. मैं तेरे को उससे भी पीट दूंगा. तू आज तू एक बार हत्ते चढ़ जा बस मेरे. ठीक है?
The House of the Hearth?
They are Fatui? Lynette?
No wonder they did something like this.
Why did you not tell me that? एक second.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Furina झूठी है. I still don't like Furina, but एक second. Why did you not tell me?
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Is that why Child is here?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
No यार. नहीं. नहीं Linne bro, नहीं यार. Linne, you are breaking my heart here, dude. नहीं, ये कैसे? नहीं. नहीं. No, dude. This is wrong. This is so wrong. Yeah, I have. No, dude, his eyes.
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry.
Linne.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Shut up.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys.
Chup.
What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
चुप हो जा तू.
In that case, my dear audience,
मैं
let's
इसका
allow
vision
the
इसके
joy
मुंह पे
of
मारूंगा.
victory to steep for a little while longer.
इसको चुप करा लो. जोंगली भाई तू इधर आ. भाई राइडन जोंगली तुमने प्रॉमिस किया था तुम मेरी मदद करोगे. इधर आओ और इसे पीटो. मेरे लिए प्लीज. नाहिडा, वेंटी, सब आ जाओ यार. पीटो एक बार इसको. मैं भी पीटूंगा.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
तूने मुझे क्यों नहीं बताया ब्रो? मुझे तो बता देता यार. मुझे तो बता देता.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
Yeah, bro.
Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I am too.
Very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain.
बोल यार.
I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Obviously
but
it
our
is.
organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
Obviously,
You met a
dude.
Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
What did you find?
Nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we
Oratrice पे तो
can
मुझे
save
भी शक है.
everyone.
Oratrice पे तो मुझे भी शक है. But bro यार लिने तू अगर मुझे ये बात पहले बता मेरे को दिक्कत नहीं है फटुइस से. ठीक है, I understand
there
it
you have
somewhat.
it, the whole truth.
But
I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
करेंगे. कोशिश तो करेंगे अब तेरे लिए.
You decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in the facts. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
तुमने ये इसमें तो कुछ नहीं किया तुमने बाकी अब तुम्हारा पता नहीं मुझे.
Pretty badly against you two.
Yep.
If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh?
Yep.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
अरे नई मेल आई है किसकी मेल आई है अच्छा थैंक यू ब्रो आ जाओ भाई जी चलते हैं ये क्या रनिंग एनिमेशन चेंज हुई है क्या एक सेकंड मेरे को देख के थोड़ा थोड़ा लग रहा है पता नहीं यार मे बी इट्स जस्ट मी हु नोस आ जाओ ट्रायल खत्म करते हैं फिर थोड़ी देर मीम रिव्यू करेंगे 10:15 तक शायद से भाई साहब
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Yep.
When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Yes. अच्छा. Okay. अच्छा 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 so ये मिनी गेम है basically.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Okay.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
The vase was filled of water.
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order
Traveler
of
की
events,
आवाज.
what Linney experienced and what he saw.
ये वाला ठीक है. Linney claims that he heard to oratory's chamber. Nope, ये भी नहीं हो सकता. हाँ. अच्छा तो ये है क्या वैसे? अच्छा. ये वाला तो चलो ठीक है ये है लिनी अच्छा ठीक है दिस इज फाइन नप yep
According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Yep. Linney kidnapped Halsey. Nope, the vase was filled with water. Yep, refute.
Seems this won't produce a Linney went to the room that contains the oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Yep. Linney knocked out Cowell. What is this? What is this? शी ये
Seem
इससे होगा इससे होगा
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Okay, हो गए सब.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the opera house
अब ये लेकिन अलग charges है ना क्योंकि oratress का course देखना is गलत thing.
Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Yes. Okay, successful refutation. अब हमें केस को अपनी तरफ लाना है. अभी बैलेंस हुआ है बस.
Paimon did it. Paimon actually managed to say all that. Oh, wasn't it awesome?
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right.
Yep.
My reasoning?
Yep, the on-stage equipment. Yep.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
मेरे को लग रहा है Cowell planned his own somewhat of a death.
That's right, you tell him. And that's why they're partners of mine. Managed to turn
अरे
things
नाविया, but still.
Well,
Silver को कुछ
your
बोलना चाहिए यार.
denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Yeah.
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Yep. Okay, magic. Okay. Irrelevant. अरे कौन सा relevant है फिर? सब तो ये भी irrelevant है, ये भी irrelevant. अरे माझा information about. Yeah, select this one.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
देखा बच्ची है फुरीना.
You'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
That is up to the investigations. Yep. Huh. Yep. What is this?
Could there have been a third person involved?
And who's
the
this?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
But he wouldn't have died.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member.
But ये दिक्कत में चल रही थी, so maybe
did she have her own scheme all along?
Did she plan it herself? Could this be her? Nope. Couldn't be.
Could there have been a third person?
But Cowell's dead, right? It's Cowell?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
It's a third person.
That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? It would have been tough for both people to... Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
But he's dead, right?
May have come from a clash between the missing Halsey.
Yep.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
Nup. ये दो सही हैं.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that.
And
no
what
one
is this?
entered or left the Opera House through its.
Yep. अरे यार, तो लेने वाला ठीक है. Okay, मिल गया.
Tough for both people to.
Yep, true. अरे, तो बचा कौन सा है? हाँ. हाँ. कोई भी काम नहीं किया. Yep.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Yeah.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
Shut up!
There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
बंदे की डेथ. इसको बस परफॉर्मेंस करनी है. मैं बता रहा हूँ, इसको मेरे सामने से हटा दो. तू ऑरेट्रिस, तू वापस इधर घूम.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
अरे रुक जा यार नवलेट. Hold on a second, yes.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yes, it did.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Yes.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
कावल तीसरे बंदे से मिला हुआ था. अब मेरे को समझ में आया.
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have.
ये वाला
The
नया
vase was
advent
not
आया.
broken by.
It works.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Yeah.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please. I do
ये
hope
हाइड्रो
you know
आर्कॉन
how
होने से ये भी नहीं पता
preposterous you sound at the moment.
ये हाइड्रो आर्कॉन नहीं है डूड ये हाइड्रो आर्कॉन हो ही नहीं सकती जब उसको यही ट्रिक नहीं
How could a
पसंद
person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different
पाइमॉन की
things.
वो भी गायब हुए थे और किसी को नहीं पता वो कहाँ पे गए आई नो उस वाटर में कुछ तो इनविजिबल करने वाली चीज है जिससे वो लड़की इनविजिबल हो गई है और अब वो खाना चुरा रही है ब्रो कुछ तो हो रहा है कुछ तो मैं
Even so.
Paimon did it!
नेट की हंसी की
In other
तैसी
words, you believe.
That's right!
या आई डू
My.
If that's the case, assuming that...
नाउ आई ऑलरेडी नो द आंसर्स मैं बहुत जल्दी कर रहा हूं
You're saying that he wasn't?
yes he wasn't select
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought?
अरे ये वाला यार
Are you sure we don't need to give this more...
सॉरी माय बैड हाँ ये वाला
That's right! This means the same
चलो
clue.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it
इसको
wasn't
लगता है
Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
इस फुरीना को लगता है ना ये फुरीना को लगता है ये बस भारी भरकम शब्द यूज करेगी तो सब इसका काम हो जाएगा जो कि होने वाला है नहीं ठीक है
The deceased's name is...
सिलेक्ट क्लू चलो 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 चलो
That can't be right.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did. And how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
जल्दी hello to whoever
The
came
deceased's name is
ठीक
Cowell.
है ये वाला है
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have...
ये वाला है
Lenny
और
was not in the tunnel.
ये वाला है
It would have been tough for both people to fit in.
ये वाला है अरे यार कौन
No one entered or... The deceased's
वाला
name
है।
is Cowell.
और लिने
Lenny
का
was
है
not in the tunnel.
ड्रेस का कोई लेना देना नहीं है अरे लिने का कोई क्लू नहीं है क्या
Halsey's clothing was in the...
और
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would like...
और ये
Halsey's
ड्रेस
clothing was in the...
अरे यार
Halsey's clothing was in the... No one entered or...
अरे लिने अच्छा इसमें कुछ काम ही नहीं कर रहा अरे हाँ ये तो वही है ना जो एंड में फेल हुई हो जाती है पूरा हाइपोथेसिस यस माय बैड जल्दी वी हैव टू गेट थ्रू टू दिस मेरे को वापस उस पॉइंट में पहुंचना है
Look,
ठीक है shut up
since we're at a dead end, just like the trick is...
If only we knew how...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel... And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a
yep
real
escaping
life...
from the water tank वापस इधर जा
If the defense is
अरे
unable
यार
to make
नवलेट रुक
further
जा यार
effective arguments, we
ये ना
will
एक
move
तो मेरा
on to
नेट
the
इतना
next
खराब
stage
है
of
ना
the
मेरा
trial.
दिमाग खराब हो गया होल्ड ऑन शट अप नवलेट be
Lenny
mature
was not in the tunnel at that... The
Yes.
sound we heard may have come from a clash between... The deceased's
Yep.
name is Cowell. Lenny's... The vase
was.
was not broken by chance.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if how... Lynette
Yep.
escaped from the water tank, vanished. If there's a...
Just a moment, please. How could a person ever be transformed into... Must we magic tricks are ultimately...
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
Yeah,
the
me
truth
too.
Must be
I
out
also
there
just
somewhere.
might trust me.
Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense.
Yep.
Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
Yeah, true.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney.
Yeah,
Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
Yes, the guards. It's not guards,
We are
it's
still
guards.
examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a minute. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Don't tell me.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
कहीं वो पानी ही तो वो नहीं. Oh, नवलेट की छड़ी.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Yeah, what is the primordial sea?
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Yep.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick.
Okay, the burnt road.
The water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Okay.
The deceased's name is Cow.
कुछ तो गलती हो गई. अच्छा, ये.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time.
नहीं.
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. Lynette was in the magic box on the water from the primordial sea.
Lynette also disappeared, right?
The water from the
भेज ना.
primordial...
Select clue.
Lynette was in the magic box.
Yeah, select clue. अरे?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic...
हाँ तो ये वाला
Lynette was
भेजना.
in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she...
अरे
I remember there was something.
अरे चिचा.
The deceased's name is Cowl. The rope that held the water tank up.
हाँ.
Lynette was in the magic box on...
ए लिनेट ने कुछ नहीं किया भाई, मुझे पता है.
I remember there was some...
Yeah. Why does this not work? Prime suspect.
Name is...
Yes.
The water from the primordial
Achha, I just love the fact how it's like just baby handling me. इतने tries के बाद it's like ये clue select कर, अब ये वाला select कर. I forced it into helping me, dude. That is how you glitch the game. You just force the game into helping it.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In
Yep.
the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Still a bit confusing, but makes somewhat senses.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think
देखा,
we sound
बच्ची है.
convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
Linny?
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic.
इसका मुंह बंद
To have your
करवाओ.
own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience.
चुप रह. मेरे को इसकी बातें भी नहीं सुननी.
Linny did not need, having made modifications to the props beforehand, his but upon his return, and ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became, now, as much as I
कितना इसके अंदर वो है ना?
Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
No, it isn't. नहीं, नहीं, नहीं. No.
Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's... seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now. And we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
चुप हो जाओ, इसके लिए ना सब ड्रामा है.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the
अरे नवलेट बोलने दे,
बोलने दे. Come on, don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Spina, but as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should...
I understand.
यार I love you Spina the Rusla. मैं इसका नाम भूल गया. My bad.
Voila.
Navia, yes. Navalet Navia are the best. ये वही लड़की है ना जो गायब हुई है?
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Her sentence?
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
Arey,
That'll teach you to
Navia.
underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
She's the best girl out there.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you
the
should
one
be.
who killed Cowell. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was going to be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lenny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire...
Yup, अब है हमारी बारी भाई. आजा. इसका तो कोई लूपहोल है नहीं, ये तो सच है. Yup, yup, yup. क्यूट. अच्छा नहीं, मैं जल्दी मैं सबसे करूंगा. मैं अभी इतना दिमाग नहीं लगा रहा सोचने में. Yup. नहीं, लड़ाई तो नहीं, लड़ाई हुई थी. नहीं, गलत. नंबर सिलेक्टर. रिफ्यूट. यस. नहीं, लड़ाई तो लिनी और इसकी हुई थी. अरे जीत गए पाजी, जीत गए.
Having been selected, her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel.
लड़ाई
She
हुई
did not know
थी.
that Lillian was not mistakenly believing that the two broke the flap with no way of escaping.
यप, झुक जा इस तरफ. झुक जा. अभी भी बराबर हुआ है. अभी भी भाई ऑरेट्रिस फालतू है, इसको तोड़ के फेंक दो. ठीक है, इसको तोड़ के फेंक दो. ये फालतू की मशीन है, तुम पैसे खर्च कर रहे हो बस अपने फालतू में. अबे इतना क्लियरली बोल दिया, अब भी समझ नहीं आ रहा इसे.
She would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
चुप, कोई डांस हो रहा है यहाँ पे. झुक और झुक.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
चुप हो जा. चुप हो जा.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina.
हाँ.
Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Yes. खड़ी रहे यहाँ पे.
Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow! Look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermark. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine and thus fled the box with a loud noise.
Yes.
Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings.
Yes.
From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Yes, it is.
Yep. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
देखो, illegal काम तो फिर भी लेने ने किया, like Oratrice के उसमें कुछ ना, but वो बात की बात है. ये केस में तो he is fine. Yes. Yes, Oratrice decision बना. Yes, what is the decision? Oratrice.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
For this case. For this case.
Great work, partners.
Yep.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate
Next,
just yet.
I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
ये भी मिला हुआ है.
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Yes.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly, unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes?
Yes.
Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
ये क्या हुआ? He turned into water. Yes. अरे इकट्ठा करो दोबारा से इस पानी को.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
Who's the boss?
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Yes. किसने किया ये? Who did this?
So, we're just going back now?
Obviously, we are Paimon.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
झूठ तो बोला है लेकिन देखो इन्होंने.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still,
I can understand.
Let me thank you again
की
for
दिक्कत है.
defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
Yeah.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight.
Signora के बाद
I didn't
तो I
approach you
hate
with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
A knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here,
मतलब इसका वो
I
भाई
was
भी
wondering,
फटुई है.
would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past.
अच्छा,
Back
क्या
when our
है?
parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To
अच्छा.
survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me
अच्छा.
several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I
अच्छा.
took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there.
एक तो ना
To my
ये दुनिया बड़ी
surprise,
बेकार है यार.
we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
But तेरे को तेरा vision
I
कैसे मिला?
gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would
अच्छा.
constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at
Yeah,
any
that's
rate.
what I'm thinking too. But दिक्कत कहाँ आ रही है?
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no.
ना गंदा
So
आदमी
he
है.
was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
Yeah, wouldn't.
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in,
yes,
all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
What offer?
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us House members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Yes.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. अभी भी still थोड़ा सा I'll be careful.
Bye, Linny.
I'll still be थोड़ा bit careful. All right, guys. So that was it for today. भाई साहब, अभी मैं ओपेरा हाउस के बाहर नहीं जाऊंगा वरना कोई और स्टोरी स्टार्ट हो जाएगी. बट या डूड मतलब क्या स्टोरी थी यार. मतलब मजा आ गया यार. ये देखो, ये देखो, ये पूरा अफेक्टेबल है ना. हाँ, इसमें कुछ तो हो सकता है यहाँ पे. अरे वरना ये ऐसे ग्लिसन नहीं करता. ये देखो, 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 जिन भी चीजों से हम इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं ना, वो सब ऐसे बन के आती हैं. कुछ तो होना चाहिए यहाँ पे. अरे अरे अरे, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है दया. ये देखो ना. अरे ये कहाँ आ गया. अरे मैं बार बार गिर क्यों. रुक जाओ. काजुआ इज लाइक चेक पॉइंट. ये देखो ना, कुछ तो है इसके साथ. अरे अरे अरे. यस.
One with nature.
हाँ. और वहां ऊपर तक कैसे जाते हैं. मुझे वहां ऊपर पे भी जाना है. एक बार उस कुर्सी पे भी मेरे को जाके बैठ के देखना है. चलो जी, कोई हो सकता है वॉन्डरर के साथ वहां पे जा सकते हो. हाँ, वॉन्डरर सीम्स लाइक जस्ट फ्लाई अप. चलो फिर पाजी, हैं, आज के लिए इतना ही. एंड आई सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन देन. हैं जी, हैं जी सारेआनू. चलो फिर पाजी सारेआनू, है ना. नहीं, चलो फिर पाजी. एज इट हैपन टुडे, लिने प्रो हो चुका है इनोसेंट, बट लिने एंड लिनेट आर फटूईज, जो कि एक नई डिस्कवरी हैगी. सो यस गाइज, ये था हमारा आज का गेंशिन का वीडियो. बहुत सारा कुछ लोर हमें पता चला है एंड इट टेक्स मी अ व्हाइल टू टेक इट इन. सो यस, आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन. Adios. Oh. वीडियो बहुत सारा कुछ लोर हमें पता चला है एंड